David with Durable Dad here. I'm going to be doing a do-it-yourself video for a pull-up rack. I think I might be able to use it also for a squat rack as well. So I'm going to make this primarily for pull-ups, but like I said, get to use it for some squats as a squat rack as well.
I've got a couple 2x6s by 8s and 2x4s by 8s, and I got a couple galvanized iron pieces here, a galvanized iron bar and 2 iron tips. That'll be my pull-up bar. But yeah, this is all the, well, plus the screws. This is all the equipment I really needed. Tools you will need for this: rip saw would be great, an impact driver, or just a drill / impact driver if you have one, with a couple drill bits because I pre-drilled some holes for the screws just to make sure the wood didn't split. A tape measure and some screws. I got some 2.5 inches there. So yeah, this is pretty much all I needed. And a pencil. So let's put this thing together. So to give you an idea, I went ahead and did one side so you can see where I'm going with this before you start watching all the steps I went through to get it. I'm just wanting to make a triangle. I'm going to make another triangle, and then I'm going to join them together. And you can see how I join these together. So let's look at how I did this. Okay, so I'm sure there's a way more mathematical, scientific way to do this, but here's how I'm doing it. I have my 2 pieces laid over end by end, with these 2 corners being flush. This is going to help me figure out what angle I need to be cutting the wood at. I have that, and then I have these 2 end points exactly 48 inches apart. So I am double checking myself. Boom, 48 inches. I'm going to go ahead and just screw these 2 together really quick so I can make, briefly, just to hold it in place, so I can make draw some marks, cutting marks, because then I also have to draw the cutting marks for the baseboards that's going to go between these. So I got the top tack together, and I got my 48 inches down with my board just kind of giving me a reference at the bottom. So I went ahead and made a pencil mark right along here, because this will be one cut line. And then down here, drew another one for another cut line. I was only worried about getting it on one board because I can use this board to help me do lines and cut the second board. Hey, I got my other pencil just now. It's behind my ear. That's crazy. Yeah, so I just laid the one that I just cut on top of the fresh one that I haven't cut yet. Got them all lined up. So I'm going to put my mark right there. Come on down here. And another mark.
Are you almost done?
Yeah, I'm getting pretty close actually to being done. Yes, that's a monkey. Because I have 4 screws on the other side at these 4 corners. I would actually flip this over like it is now, and I'm going to put another 4 in here to finish it off. I now move the board underneath it because I need to mark this baseboard. I just trace the angle of that board up against this 2x4 and cut it. Put it underneath here so it comes out to this end. So I marked it, this board shifted a little bit. That's the mark I'm going to cut, and then I'm going to duplicate that board again. So I have 2 total. All right, so this first one is going to sit flush up to this one and underneath this one. Then the duplicate is going to lay on top of it and do the exact same thing, just the opposite direction. The end result will be looking like this, just to give it some good strong support. I'm actually going to screw these 2 baseboards together first and then screw them into the whole rig. Got these 2. Don't even need a radio out here. So I got these 2 baseboards screwed together, and now I'm gonna screw them into these 2 inboards from both sides, going into both sides. So there they are, duplicate sides. Again, these will be the sides. The pull-up bar will be bolted into the top. I'll show you what I got for that. Bolted to the top, running between the two.
The next part of this is putting a board along the bottom to brace the bottom, and then the top part of it is actually going to be the iron bar that'll be the pull-up bar.
The iron bar that I have is 48 inches long. I bought these little flanges that I'll end up screwing onto the end to bolt it or screw it straight into the wood, and that'll be the top brace. I am only going to be using this bottom piece of wood to go between one side of this because I want the other side to be open so I can double it as a squat rack.
So while the bar is 48 inches true length, I have to put the flanges on it and screw the flanges on and then measure it then, so I know how wide it'll actually be with those flanges on it, so I know how long to cut the bottom board.
With the flanges on it, it looks like it's gonna come out to, well, let me get my tape measure on there.
Just a little over 48 inches. Looks like 48 and just a little over 3/8. That's cool. I like mixed numbers.
Okay, 48 7/16 with those flanges on it, plus 3 inches on each side, so the board will be flush up with that whole thing for the base. So that's 54 7/16, which we got right here. So let's put this thing together now.
I have one of the flanges put up, so I'm going to screw the rod into it, and then I'm going to use a level to make sure that it's level, and then I'm going to put the other side in and screw it all in tight.
Now the pull-up bar's on. It's nice and sturdy. Well,
Might need a helper for that.
sturdy, it's already on. I'm using the wood that I have left to put up some of these lateral supports, and I'll do one more after this one as well. So I just tacked it in here. For this little point right here, since your screws are gonna go into this part right here, I would recommend pre-drilling that so you don't just split your wood, especially if you drill in at a steep angle like that. So, all right, so here's the finished product. I wanted it to be able to double as a little squat rack for me and a pull-up rig as well. So a lot of these that I see on YouTube or the internet actually has the full bottom boxed in because it's primarily just used for pull-up rig. I specifically wanted to leave one side open so I could use it as a squat rig as well. So let me show you what I did just to recap here. And because I have no joining rod between here, I added these supports going diagonal here and diagonal here just to give this piece lateral stability. Yeah, so what I did is I ended up just getting the boards, and this side's more sunny. I just laid it on the top and marked it off where I needed it because I definitely wanted a nice wide base of support for this one. And then once I cut this one, I just laid it over onto another board and marked it off so I could duplicate the board on this side. I did the same thing for these. Tried to keep it as clean as I could. So yeah, it's stable, it's supportive.
then I added these.
So here's what I did with the actual bar mount.
Did the same thing. I went in and just marked it off, cut it the way I wanted it.
I cut that edge off because I didn't want this big piece sticking out here for no particular reason. I just didn't like it. So yeah.
Dad, who put this there? Jeff did that.
Oh, I got a good idea.
Daddy, Addie, Jeff wrote on Dad's thing. Dad, see?
So that was a fun little project. Hopefully it gave you some ideas of how you can make something for yourself. I have everything that I need here with this one. As far as pull-ups, squats, I can even probably build in a little platform in the middle if I want to do some sandbag loading. So yeah, it's everything that I would need, and grand total was around 50-60 bucks for all the stuff. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, leave some comments of maybe some ideas you might have for building one of these yourself, or leave some comments about things that you've built for yourself. Leave me a link to one of your videos if you've made one.